In this video, I'll be showing how I used an 8,000-pound cable puller to pull my power line over 300 feet underground. I had my share of problems along the way, so stay tuned so that you can avoid the same mistakes I did.
Well, that's not good. All right, pipes in the ground. Everything's buried. We've got a half decent day out here at the end of January. It's actually supposed to be about 55 degrees today, so I was looking for a day where, pulling this cable wasn't going to be frozen and make a huge mess. Just picked up from the rental place this 8,000-pound cable puller. So let's see if we can make this work. We got 4 pipes at the house here. We got the 2-inch one. It's going to be heading to the pole for our main line. 1.5-inch one heading to the pole for our internet. We have another 2.5-inch ones heading out to the future spot of the pole barn. One is going to be a 60 amp sub panel wire, and the other one I'm just running just in case I ever want to run internet wire out there. 2 wires we're going to be pulling. This is a 4 wire, so 2 hots, neutral, and a ground because it's a sub panel. 2 gauge heading out to our sub panel, and then the big guy here, which is just 3 wires, neutral and the 2 hots. This is 250 kcm heading about 300 feet from the house out to the pole. Step 1's going to be getting a pull string using the old tried and true vacuum with a plastic bag method. So we're gonna cut these a little shorter. I just left these long when I installed them. We're gonna cut them down close to the ground and see if we can get this vacuum to pull this line.
I'm just using some standard electrical pull string here, and the idea behind the plastic bag is to tie the bag at the end of the string and make sure it's big enough to basically fit in the pipe. But when you turn the vacuum on, the suction power is going to draw the bag all the way through the pipe, pulling the string with it.
Okay, stupid me. When I finished this, I marked these 2 pipes down at the house, but I didn't mark them here. So I don't know which one is for my power and which one's for my cable, but that's all right. We can figure it out. Okay, Max, go ahead and talk.
Dad.
Remember those cool underground playground phones? That's the concept we're using.
Say it again.
Dad.
Perfect. All right, bud, that's perfect. Thank you. You're going to be down here. You're going to be in charge of turning the vacuum on and off, okay?
Why do you turn it on?
I'll show you.
What is this tape gonna be?
Right here?
Just extra?
Yep. All right, Matt. Turn it on.
The key to this, once the vacuum's on, is just keeping a little bit of light tension on the rope or the string. A couple times it got stuck. I just pulled back on the string a little bit, and it continued to feed through until it reached the end.
Okay. Now we just need, that was about 150 feet to the house. Now we need to do the line from the house out to the main pole. It's about 300 feet. So let's run that string. This off and see. Nice, look at that. That's so simple. I don't know why that's so satisfying, but it is. That went surprisingly well. These pipes have actually been in the ground for probably close to 6 months, so I was a little worried because I've heard they eventually fill up with water. I was worried we were going to run into a bunch of water, but I tried to keep them taped off in that time. this thing went through quick. Obviously, just once we learned to keep a little tension on it at the string end, give a little pull back if it gets stuck, but that flew. So step one, success. All right, step two, we're gonna use that string to now pull this pull rope through. We're gonna try the big 2-inch conduit first. Try to get this from the street all the way back to the house. Then we can hook this up to the puller to pull our wire. All right, I was getting too much resistance with the rope trying to make the curve over into the pipe, so I took the pulley off of the cable puller and hooked it up to see if I can get a little better flow going into my pipe. Let's see. A little better, but I didn't actually have it started down there. The rope wasn't in the pipe yet, but I do have him manned down at the pulley to see if he can feed it in, so let's give it a shot. All right, Max, I'm gonna start pulling. It's easier. All right, there's one 45-degree bend right here before it heads up to the house. I think that's where I got stuck at. I just couldn't pull. I didn't want it to break, so I pulled it back out, and I did something I probably should have done in the first place. I wrapped the end up with some electrical tape. I'm gonna dip it in some wire lube. Let's try this again. Well, that's not good. The problem is we're just about out of rope. You can see I don't have much left here. Hey boy. I'm out of rope. What I want to find out though is how far I need to go. So I'm gonna go down and tie a piece of this string to the other end of that rope and then pull until I hit the rope here. Because if I'm like just a couple feet short, I can get away with starting my electric line using this until I get the rope and then hooking it up to my puller. All right. All right, I think we're okay. I got to the rope. I put this piece of tape right at the bucket to see how far I pulled, and it's only about 2 or 3 feet, so I think we can make this work. All right, we made it. I definitely should have just done this from the beginning, the tape and the lube, because that pull the whole way was way easier, and I didn't have any issue with that curve. The other thing, I looked up this rope I bought. It's 300 feet, so even though I'm a couple feet short, I'm at least good to go on my wire, because I bought 350 feet of wire, so I have plenty to come up to the meter socket, and then also it's going to have to go up the pole over there. All right, so we're in. Now we got to get this puller hooked up and figure out a way to get this spool in good position. I'm not going to make the mistake on that one. I'm definitely going to tape up and lube the hell out of this wire, because I don't want to be doing that one twice.
I've made a ton of unnecessary purchases in my life. You can see one of them sitting right there in the grass, but this tractor is not one of them. If you're considering it for your property or business, I mean, one of these tractors is so versatile, you'll never run out of reasons to use it. In this case today, it's going to serve as our wire spool so we can keep this wire feeding straight through our conduit. I really took my time on prepping this wire. I was trying to make sure that I had a strong enough connection to my pull rope, but also I had to trim some of it away because of the bulk of feeding all those through and making sure that they fit into the pipe. I actually redid this several times until I got to something that I was happy with, but basically separating some of the strands and removing some of them allowed me to really weave this in. And then I was using duct tape here wrapped upside down first and then back over top of it right side up to create a nice strong connection that I was pretty confident wasn't going to break off as I was pulling this.
I got a hand pull enough puller, so let's see how this goes.
Hey, since I have a rope that is just a little too short, I don't have enough to spool it onto my cable puller, so I had to hand pull the first few feet here.
That's good. I'm gonna need someone down there.
I contracted out some of my best help here to pull at one end while I was feeding down at the other.
Hold it, and when I do that.
You might need both of you pulling. It depends how hard it's gonna be. All right. All right. I'm gonna go down there.
And go! No, it isn't. It will so just try. Okay, it's getting pretty hard for them. No.
All right. As you can see, thankfully this part went well, and we had no problem. If you have a rope that's of the correct length, you don't have to do this. So the only downside to renting the bigger, more powerful puller is this thing is pretty heavy. You could pull it off the truck with 2 people. That's how we loaded it, but when you have pallet forks in a tractor, why not? Good, we got the 2-inch adapter right there. Pulled enough rope to get around our spindle here, but this thing takes a 20 amp plug and I need to grab an extension cord. All right, a little different conditions today. As you can see, temperatures dropped a bit. We're down in the 30s now and it's snowing. So, you know, my good luck of 50-degree weather ran out, but it's okay. We're still gonna make this work. I got the right plug adapter for the machine and we're gonna give it a shot, try to get this line pulled. So I still am a little short on rope because really you want a full 3 to 4 wraps around this capstan here. That's what generates the friction to generate the power pulling. So I'm going to take it slow here. The unit has a force gauge so we can keep an eye on how much force we're using to pull this wire. This unit goes up to 8,000 pounds. So if we get near that, obviously we want to be careful. I did the calculations on the size of the wire and the length of the run and the conduit size, and it should only take about 2,000 pounds of force. So I'm going to expect to be somewhere between the 2 and the 4 for most of this pull. And if it spikes above that, then we're going to back it off and see what's up. So I'm going to give this a shot and take it slow at first to try to get some more rope around this, and then get someone down there on the other end feeding, making sure there's no problem down there, and hopefully it should be smooth pull. That is success, although I got to look back at the camera. I think it probably took close to an hour, but piece of cake. This thing is well worth the rental cost. And obviously you need a competent adult at the other end. And she did amazing. Nice job. That was amazing. Was it hard?
Yeah.
That took a while. All right, well, it was getting a little dark when we finished up last night, so I wanted to just do a quick rundown here now that the sun is up the next day. Went really well. It took a while. I'm really pleased with how this went, and really didn't have any major problems. Here I ended up going to about 5 or 6 wraps on this capstan here. As it started to pull, the rope was starting to slip a little bit, so I just added a couple wraps there and got some more friction on that. This 8,000 pound puller was probably overkill. I probably could have got away. They make smaller 2,000 pound ones, but I wasn't sure and I didn't want to end up with a problem. Pressure really never got above like 1,500. Really, it actually sat below 1,000 for the majority of the pull. That's the big line pulled. I got to do the same thing now, running my 2-gauge wire out to our future site of our pole barn. I'm also going to pull some 12-gauge wire with that also along in that same pipe, just in case I ever want to be able to control some lights from the house out to there. We got that rope hooked up. Didn't make the mistake this time of skipping the tape in the loop, so that's all in there. I'm hoping it's a little easier. It's a smaller pipe by 1/2 inch, but it's a straight shot, so there's no turns or 45s. So we'll see. Listen, I might need your help with the rope down here soon, okay?
What do you have to do?
Well, we got the rope. We got it all tied up. We got it in the pipe, and I have to pull it. I might need to help feeding it down there, okay?
Okay.
I'll let you know. Go get the walkie-talkies.
Okay.
My homemade wire caddy here worked really well for the big line, and it's going to come in even more handy here while I'm trying to pull multiple lines here. So I'm just pulling on the 14 gauge cable along with my sub panel cable, and I'm going to be able to just feed that all through together, and it'll all come out at the same time.
I learned doing this side of the job was I was working a little too hard at first. I was trying to kind of shove the wire in the pipe. A lot of work. It was working fine. It was just a lot of work. And I realized I don't have to do that. I just kind of straighten it out so that it goes in straight and let the puller do the work and catch up. The rope would grab it and just suck a little bit at a time. From a fatigue standpoint, it went a lot easier like that. It's still slow going, but I think we're close. All right, I would definitely consider this project a success, at least this phase. Probably bigger than I needed, but I'm happy to spend the money to make the job easier. I'm sure there's other ways to pull that line, probably cheaper ways, probably harder ways, maybe easier ways, I don't know. But this is my first time trying this. I was very happy, and I would definitely buy it again or rent it again if I needed to just pull something like this. Just a note about it to remember, it does take a 20 amp plug, so if you don't have a 20 amp receptacle with that side blade right there, make sure you get an adapter extension cord. Check out my other videos on this project. Part 1 was setting the new utility pole at the end of the street, which was pretty scary. I don't think I would ever do that again. Part 2 was digging the trench and laying the conduit. This is part 3, and you know what, I'll probably do a video about taking the old one down too, because once that's disconnected, I think that might be very satisfying and a lot of fun. I'm so sick and tired of it. My pole is falling down already down there. We're on borrowed time. The rest of it goes through a bunch of trees and branches that constantly rub on it. So I'm going to enjoy taking those poles and that line down.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button to stay up to date on all my new videos in the world of property management, renovation, Airbnbs, real estate investing in general, and pretty much any other project I get myself into.